everybody, it is Melanie Mitro and Katy Ersta, and we are the hosts of the Make Chic Happen podcast. And this podcast is for you, friend. We're going to dive into the skills, mindset, and systems you need to build a successful social media presence, and it supports your business goals. All right, and I am Melanie Mitro, one of the co-hosts, and I have left my full-time career in early intervention to be a stay-at-home mom, and I'm seriously craving something more. All right, and I'm Katy. I am a stage 4 cancer survivor. I absolutely love all things storytelling, and I was a teacher who truly just wanted to get the groceries paid for. Never in a million years did I see what would happen with this business. Oh my gosh, and here we are, 10 years later, and we have built multi-million-dollar businesses from our laptop, from our kitchen tables, basically anywhere that you have Wi-Fi. And the cool part is now we get to teach other people how to do the same. So just 2 female entrepreneurs who are wives, moms, and we're also besties who want to take you on the journey right alongside us to help you build a business that you love and a life that you desire. All right, so come on in, check out today's episode. Well, hey everyone, it is Katy and Melanie of the Make Chic Happen podcast, and we are talking today about hashtags. We are. So I'm sure that if you are listening in right now, even as I said it, you may have rolled your eyes, you may have been like, yes, I absolutely need this. Or you may be like, oh, where do I even start?
How do you feel about hashtags personally?
I don't have a lot of feelings.
You don't? I do.
Here's why.
Okay.
I feel like I think a lot of people depend on hashtags.
Okay.
And they feel as though if they just get the right hashtag, their content will take off.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily see that as true. I really believe that quality of content is always going to be your guiding light.
Yep.
It's always going to be your go-to. So
Yeah.
if you create really high quality content, even if you have horrible hashtags, you have a really good chance of it taking off.
Right.
But if you have really great hashtags, but awful content or quality content, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
So I think we want to make sure that as we're even having this discussion today, we're really thinking about the time we're investing in creating the right hashtags, thinking about our hashtags, you know, hashtagging all our content.
Yep.
So I think it's just awareness too.
You know, and I think people just candidly get really obsessed with hashtags.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, when I find the right hashtag set, my content's going to go viral, right? And so they get so obsessed on that they, again, don't focus on, am I speaking to my audience? Is this the right brand messaging?
Right.
Is it quality? Is my caption?
Yeah.
So it's almost like, and we talk about this a lot, when you're baking a cake, right? You have to have all the ingredients to the recipe. Sure. And so hashtags are an ingredient, but you need the whole recipe. You need all the ingredients and to put them in the right order in order for it to be successful.
Yeah. And you should also read the ingredients. So
even
when we talk about it, a big part of what we do here at Chic Influencer is we teach strategy. So there is a strategy and hashtags are a small part of that strategy. Right. So we're going to break down a little bit of the hashtag myths. We're going to talk about how to find good hashtags today. So first thing we're going to dive right in is let's talk about how to actually find the right hashtag. Okay. So do you want to talk a little bit about that to kick it off?
Yeah. Okay, so when you think about just hashtags in general, we're talking about Instagram because Facebook doesn't work the same way, okay? No. So this is specifically towards Instagram. And so when you're thinking about hashtags in general, if you are old school and you remember going to the library and you would go to the card catalog, right? And so your card catalog would tell you where to find the book.
We're really aging ourselves right now.
We are. It'd tell you where to find the book in the library. Well, hashtags are card cataloging your post, and you can have up to 30 hashtags per post. So it's basically saying I'm card cataloging my post into 30 different places.
Right.
Based on how people actually search. So that's what a hashtag is. It's a way to find like-minded people and content, but it's also a way for people to find you when you're when you're writing a piece of content that's about a specific topic.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you want to say to yourself is, all right, how do I actually go out there and find hashtags to use? Well, let's just start basic and simple. If I'm making a post about chic influencer, I'm always going to tag chic influencer. Yep. If Katy and I are in the actual post or piece of content, Katy Ersta and Melanie Mitro are going to be tagged. The reason being is because if somebody goes on to the Instagram platform and types in Katy Ursta, everything that's been posted where we've tagged her name is going to show up.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to be searchable. If somebody hears of you out in the community and wants to learn more about you, they can easily find you, whether it's your business or it is your name.
Yeah, I actually want to walk through for a couple minutes what I actually went through yesterday when it came to exploring hashtags. So I was getting ready to explore a hashtag that was a little out of my niche. It wasn't necessarily something that I was looking for, but my husband and I were going away for our 15th wedding anniversary this June. And we don't really like to stay at fancy hotels or resorts or anything. We like to do things a little bit differently. So we decided to stay in a tree house.
Yeah.
So
a fancy tree house.
It's a little bit fancier, but my purpose for telling this is because I didn't quite know how to search. So the first place I went was Google. But what happens in Google is the first things you see in Google are a bunch of ads. And then the next thing you see are what's the most common in SEO. But that doesn't mean it's the newest or the best or anything. So I went to Instagram. When I went to Instagram, I started saying, okay, what can I hashtag? And then I hashtagged things like searching. I searched hashtags like glamping, treehouse, cabin treehouse, getaway treehouse. So I went through and I was looking for specific tree houses, and I found this absolutely beautiful tree house in Georgia. It's a couple that created this, and they have this their own land. I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is exactly what we need. It's not far from the airport. It was perfect. Yeah. But my point for sharing that is people do use hashtags to search, especially if it's an area that they're not quite familiar with. And it's a really great way to see what's actually relevant versus traditional searching that doesn't always give you the most relevant information. And so as I was looking for it, you should be saying to yourself, all right, what are the right hashtags for me? As Melanie mentioned, we use Chic Influencer. We use Katy Ursta, Melanie Mitro. And the reason we do that is because, number one, it's archived. So if anybody clicks on it, they can see all of the content we've created in the past. But number two, we're also making sure that we're becoming known for something when people are searching if they aren't quite familiar in that specific genre or area.
Absolutely. So if you were to sit down and say, okay, let's just take one of our thumbprints, for example, right? So here at Chic Influencer, one of the things that we teach is just social media strategy, social media marketing. We have the Make Chic Happen planner, right? So we are known as social media strategists, right?
For sure.
And so as we are sitting down and we are trying to figure out, well, okay, every time we talk about social media and marketing, what are going to be the hashtags that we're going to use? So we may sit down and start to put into Instagram social media strategy. What pops up? So we're going to look at who else is out there. Is the hashtag popular? Are a lot of people using it? We don't want something that has millions and millions and millions, right, of uses, because that means that it gets pushed down really fast because people are using it so fast that you don't, if you search a hashtag, you have to really scroll back to find it, okay? So we don't always use the really, really, really big hashtags. We sort of are looking for something in the middle, you know, anywhere between like under 10K, but more than 100, okay? So because we want people that are actually searching for it. And so we're looking for hashtags and we're writing them down or saving them in the note section of our phone. And then also I will look at what other people use. If I find an online marketer who does something similar to us, I'm going to go look at their hashtags. I'm going to click on them. I'm going to go, never thought of that. I'm going to just add that over here to my list that I'm going to use.
Yeah, and hashtags actually have their own explore button. So even when you type in like glamping, right? So if you type in glamping, you can then look at the glamping hashtag explore page, and there's going to be trending, and then there's going to be recent. The recent are the most recent things that have been posted using that hashtag. The trending are going to be the ones that are the most popular, the ones that are getting the most engagement. And so for me, even yesterday when I was searching for a cabin, I went to, all right, well, what's trending? What's the ones that are super popular? And then what's recently been posted? And so I was able to kind of dig and search around. So as somebody, just as if you went to the library, as you would be be maybe searching for a genre. It works the same exact way.
I love that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the hashtags, you're really thinking about, okay, what are people searching?
Yep.
I need to create my bank that's very specific. Also, just even thinking about if I'm posting a product, like if we're talking about the Make Chic Happen planner, we're going to tag Make Chic Happen planner.
Right.
You can also follow a hashtag. So Katy, you can follow the hashtag glamping.
Yeah.
So now if she maybe didn't decide where they were going to stay, she could follow it. So other suggestions would come up. Likewise, we can follow our own hashtag or things we want to know about. So think about your audience. If they are into, fitness and I always use anti-inflammatory because I'm on that journey. But if I follow the hashtag anti-inflammatory diet, guess what? A lot of really great content comes up with that same hashtag. So I'm finding other users that add value, right? But it's also giving me content ideas as well. So it's kind of like hashtags are two-part. It helps you find people, but it also helps you, find others as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it. I love it. Okay,
All
so
right.
let's talk about interacting with hashtags too. So the best way to interact is already how I maybe shared a little bit about how I go. I click on a hashtag, and of course you can follow a hashtag as well.
Yeah.
But in order to interact with it, I'm going to click around on the accounts that have also used that specific hashtag because we have a commonality. We have something that we both like. So glamping. We'll just keep going with glamping. And we did not intend to do that at all, but I think it's a great example. So let's say that I'm looking at the hashtag glamping. I am going to go and I am going to engage with accounts that also have glamping. And I can engage with them by simply clicking on the post or the reel or the static post, the carousel, the stories, whatever they've created, and I'll leave a genuine comment.
Yeah.
I will say something about the content they've created. I might also go and see what else they have created in the past. Once I do that and I actually comment and engage, I look at the account and I go, is this somebody that I want to follow? Does this make sense for me to actually follow? Is this an account that I believe there is something that can be reciprocated? I can add value in some way, but I also feel like they're adding value for me.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. So I'll engage with that. Now, if it's a bigger account, for example, this account of a tree house in Georgia, right? It's a big account, but I also find that the people who engage with this account are like me. They are like me. They enjoy glamping. They enjoy getaways with their husband. They don't want to go to the fancy resorts. They'd rather be in a tree house.
Yeah.
They might be like me. So I'm not just going to limit myself to engaging with the creator. I am then going to engage with the people who are also following and engaging with the account.
Yes.
So I am going to go, I might click around. If I'm really growing my account, I'm going to go and see where people are and engage with their accounts as well.
Yes.
So that's really the first thing that I do.
Yep.
Also, you can save things to a collection. So for example, if I love fiction, if I love reading books, a lot of times I will save to a collection different pieces of content that are very, very relevant. And then I'll be able to engage with the people who are commenting on that as well.
Yeah, which is so good because that way you're actually engaging with an interest. And I think that's key. A lot of times people just go out and are like, I'm supposed to be engaging right now. And they just engage on randomness.
Yeah.
Where fiction or glamping is very, very specific. And so if she goes to that hashtag and she's like, these are my people, right? These accounts, these are my people. And she's following and liking and commenting and interacting, the likelihood of those people following her back is way higher than if she was just randomly searching random things because she just picked it out of left field, right?
Yeah.
There's a strategy to it. And I even go like one layer deeper, whatever I post about. So, I follow the hashtag EverEve because it's one of like my favorite places to shop. So if I'm going to engage and interact with the hashtag EverEve, I'm also maybe going out on a date that night. So I might post an outfit that is from EverEve, tag all of the people. And so as I'm interacting with that hashtag and those people are coming over to my profile, what are they seeing? They're seeing I am wearing an outfit from EverEve and I'm giving all the different pieces that I'm actually wearing. So they're like, oh, she is like me. She's just actually talking about something I already follow and am interested in.
Yeah.
So that helps the reciprocal, the follow back. So when I'm doing the hashtag searching, it's always based on what I'm posting that day, because that makes that all sort of happen.
Connect together.
Yeah, connect together.
I love it. So then the most common question we get is, I've tried it before. Why aren't my hashtags working? So we're going to just walk through a couple reasons why they may not be working. So if you apply the first couple things we talked about, you're going to see a change. You're going to start to see a shift. But then if you put that and you compound it with quality of content, so you really look at the quality of the content you're putting out, I do believe that you will see a difference. Why your hashtags might not be working. Number one, they aren't funneled down enough. They're not niche enough, meaning they're so broad that people aren't going to necessarily find you because you're not showing up in the actual explore page of that hashtag. So for example, if you say hashtag boss babe, well, a million other people have used that hashtag.
Right.
It's probably just gonna not be something that is so
saturated.
Yeah,
it's very saturated.
It just isn't going to be effective. So I would say you have to niche down a little bit more and really clarify who your audience is. Or it could be the other way around, that no one's actually using that hashtag. No one's searching it.
Totally. And I mean, your hashtags might not be working too if your content just stinks.
Yeah.
If it's like dark and grainy and it's not clear and doesn't have a good message. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can slap lipstick on a pig and it's still going to be a pig.
You said that, yeah.
It's like the third time I've heard it
this week. It's really great.
Really? It's so funny. Yeah. It just like immediately popped into my mind and I was like, you know what? This is the podcast. We're just gonna
keep
share.
Going with it.
But you do have to look at your quality again, going back to the ingredients that we talked about at the beginning.
They all come together. Yeah. Or the other thing, just one more thing that I had off the top of my head is it's actually just not relevant to what you're talking about at all.
Yeah.
So if you ever just create a piece of content and you have all of your hashtags stored in your notes section, you go to your notes section, you throw up the actual hashtags, but they have nothing to do with what you're talking about. They're not going to be effective.
No, they're not. And, Instagram is sneaky, smart, whatever you want to call it. They catch on to stuff like that. If you actually start using hashtags that are not, they'll just like shut you down. They'll be like, we're not going to show your stuff to anybody because what you're actually posting is not related to the tags you're using. It's like if you tag 20 different people in a post, but there's nothing about that person in the post. Eventually, the algorithm figures that out and says, you know what, you're not really using this the way it's meant to be used. Yeah. We're just gonna slow your roll a little bit.
It's almost like that song, Private Eyes. Yes. Do you remember that one? Private Eyes are watching you. I love it. So, all right, so what do we want people to do this week?
We want them to work on their hashtag banks. So again, up to 30 hashtags. And I want you to take each one of your thumbprints. And if you don't know what we're talking about when it comes to thumbprints, I want you to go back into our past episodes. We'll link it in the show notes there.
For sure.
But snag the past episode on thumbprints. But I want you to sit with each thumbprint. And I want you to create a bank of hashtags that you're going to use. And we want you to start using them, right? Yeah. And applying what we've shared. And again, not making this the only strategy that you use, but really looking at, okay, this is a piece of my marketing strategy.
Right.
How can I make sure that I'm leveraging hashtags to help me get more visibility, whether it's to go out and find people or for people to find me?
All right, you guys, if you loved this episode of the Make Chic Happen podcast, make sure you let your friends know about it. Let us know that you are listening by tagging us on Instagram, and we would love to connect with you there as well. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
All right, so if you loved today's episode, make sure you head over to wherever you listened to the episode today and leave us a rating and review. And also, take a little screenshot and tag us on Chic Influencer. We'll feature you in our stories. Plus, we'd love to get your feedback and hear from our listeners.
Until next week, let's make chic happen.